I'm back. Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Dave is not back. He had like something for his kids. Like very important. Oh my gosh, my mic's turning up. Someone call me.
Yeah, I was trying to message you. Sneakily. Was not sneaky
Hello?
enough.
Is this better?
Much better. There we go.
I got a new mic.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's all bad. Yes, the bride is back. But hello, I have a new last name. We are all over the world. Happy Diwali. Oh my goodness. Also happy Starbucks holiday cup season. I got my red cup this morning. Very exciting. So yeah, please bear with me with mic issues. If it starts to like cut out again, let me know because I got a new thing. So just let me know in the chat. Yeah, Dave has like kids or whatever that have like things that he has to deal with. Like that's important, more important than this. I don't know why, but whatever. But he'll be back next month, and then you'll get the reunited me and Dave. But of course, last minute we had the wonderful Sweeky decide to join us as a co-host again. You should basically just like add her into the rotation for this. And also last minute, because I did not do a lot of planning for this, I panic messaged Tim and I was like, you've been working on some cool stuff. You want to come on the show tomorrow? And he was like, yeah. So yeah, thank you.
I'm used to that. We're all one big happy family here. So I'm always willing to help out.
You guys are the best. I'm very lucky. But yeah, thank you both for coming on the show. As always. And this is neither of your first time, so this is going to be like expert. I hear Dave was pushing all the buttons last month and not.
Oh man, it was a sad time without you, Maddy. It's like everything falls apart. Like Dave had no idea what to do. Instead of the 2-minute timer, we're just like on live. He didn't know where the banners were. Oh yeah, it was. And then he just kept like, oh, maybe I'll just press random buttons while we are live. I'm like, sure, David, that's a great idea.
He's amazing. That's great. He will always get me back for the one time I forgot to actually hit the go live button. And I like started the stream and Dave was like, this is not on anything, right? And I was like,
let's get a practice,
Yeah. Well, it was great. We had a great time. But yeah. So if this is your first time joining us, this is the .NET MAUI Community Standup. It's the first Thursday of every month. Always a good time. This month we are going to. I'm gonna show a little bit of things, and then Sweeky's gonna do the blogs because she's the best. And then I was looking at PRs, but next week is this big event called, I don't know if you've heard of it, .NET Conf. Kind of a big deal. So you can hear about all the latest and greatest stuff that's getting merged in there. There is a bunch of content. Hold on. Where was my agenda? The keynote Tuesday morning, by the way, come on by. Tim has been helping a lot with that demo. We are showing a bunch of stuff for Maui and some Blazor Maui. I will be there. I am just showing up to talk about things. I have done very little of the work. Everyone's favorite, James Montemagno, has actually done a lot of the demo stuff. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. Daniel Roth will be there. David Fowler will be there. Maria Nagaga. All the greats.
Yeah, the big hitters.
Yeah. And then there's 3 days of stuff. So Wednesday is more like stuff from the team and I think some community members. And then Thursday is all community. Except for, I think, Javier is doing his drawn controls talk. But Javier is basically a community member. But we also pay him.
We all are, really, when you think about it. We're all one big community.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they changed it because there are some other people here. But there are a bunch of cool Maui talks throughout the week. Maui Community Toolkit stuff. Gerald, you have a talk at 6:30 a.m. New York time? I'm not going to be able to watch that, but...
You know what? Great. Good thing to record all of it. Good thing it's all recorded.
Veronica's doing a machine learning talk. So Veronica's a great, Xamarin community member who also does a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, there's a ton. Check out the link. It's .netconf.net and then just poke around or just, make your coffee, sit at your desk for 3 days and don't move because nobody else has anything else to do. Also,
just don't tell your boss that.
Visual Studio 2022 is launching, baby. Woo! So that's Monday. There's a bunch of pre-recorded talks, but there's also going to be like the live launch event thing. I have been able to take a peek at some of the demos and stuff. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's favorite.
Look at that lineup. I was like,
I know.
look at that lineup. Look at it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's stacked. We've got Kendra, we've got Fowler, of course, Handsome and Amanda. Nobody cares about those. Anson. We have
Dimitri!
the best Maui team members, Olia and Dimitri, showing stuff off. So that's exciting. And then there's also like a agenda. Dimitri and Olia are both doing like live talks after the keynote. So it's going to be great. Maui Preview 9 is out, but more Maui stuff is coming out next week. So if you haven't looked at Preview 9 yet, like just wait 4 more days.
Or you could try installing it now, and if you have issues, then a few days they might be fixed. Think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Planning ahead.
Yeah. Same game plan. I have a couple of blogs posts around the Preview 9 stuff too, but that was the thing. It's like, hey, try it out, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised next week when it's all magically fixed. Just make your day.
Cross fingers. We're doing our best.
Will VS Mac be launched too? No, VS Mac will have updates on Monday, but we're not launching a GA yet. I don't know if you have seen any, I know it is sad, any of the stuff that they're working on, but they rebuilt the UI completely natively. Yeah. So it's like a whole new IDE. I will actually be demoing from it at .NETConf. It's super, super nice, but they're still tidying things up.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool underlying tech stuff that they're doing that is going to be mind-blowing once it's fully realized. But they needed that extra time to really make it work. So it's like that is a very good call by our management to be like, yeah, let's give them the time to do it right.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Gerald says the preview's out, which is, it's great.
Yeah, I agree. It is really snappy. It just feels so nice to use it.
And there's a new like Git experience, I think, coming next week. Not to like spoil anything, but Jordan Matheson, who's one of the PMs on VS for Mac, has a pre-record that's launching with the VS launch. So you can watch all that stuff then. The reason I had to put the Preview 9 blog post in here is because Borders, Corners, and Shadows are back, which are my absolute freaking favorite. Almost just sore. I saved it. We're doing great. So I leave for like 3.5 weeks to go on, marital adventures. And Dave fixes Borders, Corners, and Shadows. Dave didn't do it. The team did it. Dave just wrote the blog post and gets all the credit for it. But
he's been pushing for it, He wanted it for, we push the features we want ourselves. And then
he gave more docs, I'm assuming, in stand-up. He said, you guys can do it. It's amazing. He used a lot of English and motivated everyone.
Yeah.
We all work on it together. PMs are just as important as engineers. Even though I say, we do write the feature, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way that Tim and I work is I message Tim and I go, this is broken. Is this our fault? And he goes, yeah, or no. And then he either fixes it and then complains about how it's not actually our fault, but he figured out how to fix it. So
that's kind of like how you and I talk too.
Yeah, that's very much a typical Xamarin approach, as we are both want to have. But I will say we've been getting a lot better at fixing the root issue rather than hacking around it. So you'll see more of us actually doing the right thing in the future rather than complaining about it as we once did. So
yeah. Takes a little bit longer, but we get there. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, last thing, and then I'll shut up and I'll let Sweeky go because there are so many blogs this month. You guys crushed it. Our friendo James Montemagno, who now runs like this .NET like community team thing. It's amazing. They are launching the .NET Tech Community Forums, which is kind of like the Xamarin forums and Microsoft Q&A and blah 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 blah. But this one is specific forum type for .NET. So it's not just like a Q&A. It's got like discussion spaces and all that stuff. So this is a good place kind of for, there's achievements too. I forgot about that. Very exciting. But yeah, this is a good space to check out. I know I still use like Stack Overflow for everything, but it was always nice to have the Xamarin forums to fall back on. And I think a lot of, traditional Xamarin developers did miss those when we retired them. So this is something kind of similar. So check it out. It's going to be a good time. And if you have bugs, don't put them here. File them through Visual Studio or on the GitHub. Because if you file bugs here, they're just going to close them and tell you to put them on the other places where we have bugs. So, all right.
You always need to track. Tracking is important. When they don't track, they go away and we never fix them.
You know it. All right. So this is our list of URLs for this month. Look at how many blogs.
I know. Hold on. I just realized I wasn't already sharing.
That's fine.
My window. I should get that up. All right.
And I sent the links in the chat, so you should be able to see them, and I'll put them up in a minute. And then Sweeky's screen is up, so I'm gonna take mine out.
Yeah, let me know when it's up. I can get started. There we go. Okay. Good. All right. So first of all, it blows my mind, by the way, that there's so much stuff going on, and it was Hacktober last month. So it's like, whoa, people were just like doing blog posts and stuff, and like, doing PRs and everything. Insane. So I don't know. The community always amazes me. Okay. So first off, I literally saw this morning. I had to DM like Maddy early in the morning. Add this to the stand up for today. So our good friends at Polaris have officially launched their new Snap to Trail ride planning app. And the super awesome part about that is my team helped with them. Woo-hoo-hoo. So the whole app is built with Xamarin. Is super snappy, super awesome. My teammate Alexi and my manager Alex, they worked with them. If you want to know more about what the app is, go check out like their website and see what the app does. But if you're curious about how they built it, their experience with Xamarin, Alexi and the Polaris team, including Tom, were actually on the Xamarin podcast. The .NET MAUI podcast now, but if you go look in the archive, you can find the episode that's called Polaris, and they're talking about their whole experience. It's very, very cool. It's also, it involved having to do a binding. So if you want to be curious about how their experience was, trying to get the Mapbox binding stuff to work, it's super awesome. Definitely check that out. I selfishly wanted to promote my team first off. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about community. So this got my eye.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you?
Yeah. I'm going to zoom in. Okay. Of course, I can zoom in if I can remember how to zoom in on Windows 11. There we go. Okay. So what do we have?
All right. Tom Soderling. Tom, who had that tweet, is in the chat. I don't know why I just read soldering and I had the hardest time.
It's okay.
He's an engineer,
Yeah. But he's joining us from one of the YouTubes. So hi, Tom. Thank you.
Hey, awesome work on launching your app. Woo! All right. Okay. So what do we have? The Sharpnado folks have a guest blog, and Tomas was here talking about his the iOS cached cool image loading component. I used all the wrong words, but essentially just go check out how he worked on building the nuke component, which is super cool. He talks about what it does, how they exposed all the different things that people want to use. It's cool. I love when people have guest bloggers on their blogs. You can learn so much about it. But also my favorite part is right at the bottom. They do silly questions. And it's like, yeah, so fun. His top 3 movies includes Pulp Fiction and Lord of the Rings. So he's already my best friend. So that's the exact same answer I would have given. Super cool. So check this out. Next up, our favorite duo in the whole world, Zamboy, Zamgirl, have been killing it this month. So they actually have a series of blogs going on, which is insane, super cool. So Zamboy has a ongoing series about state machines in Xamarin Forms, which is super awesome, very interesting. And they're basically going through a sample that they worked, and you can see it working over here. It is super nice. And like I said, it's a series. So the second part, I think, came out last month. And the third part came out a couple of days ago, which is super nice. So now after you set up, like you get an initial state machine stuff set up, this is talking about how to pass parameters to it. So it's super cool, super awesome. Definitely go see it. And Zamgirl is also doing her own series. How do people do this, man? This is so impressive. I wish I could do this. I wish I was so smart.
You are. So, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, I cannot write a series, though. I can't write a series. I feel like I'll run out of stuff at some point. But yes, so Zamgirl is talking about tips and tricks on creating custom controls. All of us have to eventually make a custom control at some point. We want some fancy UI, we want some fancy gesture stuff, but she is killing it because in this blog post series, she's actually giving you tips and tricks on how to make your life easier when it comes to making these custom controls. So especially tip number 2 over here, use styles when necessary, is super helpful. It's something I learned very late, and I was like, I should have been doing this from the very, very beginning. So definitely check it out. Super helpful tips, super awesome. And they're the best. you'll be surprised how many times I'm trying to like implement something and I forget and I just go search for it, and it's always a Zamgirl or a Zamboy, blog post I go to. So it's super awesome, super awesome. So next up are come on, Edge, come on. Did it die? Did it die? It doesn't want to go to YouTube. It doesn't want to go to YouTube, you guys. Okay. Well, Windows 11, friends. Yeah. Don't update before you go live stream. Well, that was, I don't know if it'll let me hover. If I hover, that was actually Motz's YouTube video. Also, Motz has been on fire this month. He's dropped so much of cool content. This was him talking about all things about bottom tabs, top tabs, how to implement it. It's a super interesting video. And he's also like not only just talking about Xamarin Forms, also future predicting and talking a little bit about how it would look like in .NET MAUI. So if I could switch to that tab, I would, but you guys have the URL list, so just go click on that link on my behalf. Thank you.
Yeah, after this, not now. Wait, and then watch it later.
Exactly, because you know how mesmerizing Motz is, so you know. All right. Oh my God. There we go. Now it switches tabs. Jeez. Okay. Well, I'm gonna move on. All right. So, Luis. Again, he comes in every time, doesn't he, Maddy? I feel like every month he's posting like something very, very useful and important. So also, this time
it's just posted in the chat that your Halloween costumes were amazing, which is true. If you go on Sweeky's Twitter, she has a thread. She had 3 different Halloween costumes, and all of them are great. So
it's because I couldn't dress up last year. I had to make up for lost time. I was like, it's like I just need to go all out. Anyways, okay. So Louis is actually doing this. So it's not a series of posts, but it's actually 2, like I call them sister posts, because it's like he's explained them so well. So we have the new Maui app builder class, right, which does all the cool initialization stuff for you. So in this first blog, he actually explains what it does, why it's important, things you need or you don't need to be concerned about, which is super nice. And he just sort of breaks it all down in a really clear and concise way. In this next post, he compares it with the web application builder. So it's not just like, hey, this is just what it does. He actually put up a second post just sort of comparing it and, where the .NET MAUI team got the inspiration to come up with .NET app, MAUI app builder. So I absolutely love posts like this. It's like you're not just frou explaining just some concept. You're actually going deep down and sort of helping the community understand why the engineering team took, certain decisions. So love it. If you're curious about, how all of this works, definitely go check out his 2 posts. I learned actually quite a bit from it, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I could say on one thing on that too is that the original builders and stuff they had for MAUI weren't using the same system, and so it's like they had to break between previews, broke the APIs in order to start supporting it, so it can be similar to what they do for ASP.NET. And at first it's like, oh man, that sucks. You have to redo your stuff if you're already working on an app. But the end result is like this blog post is. It's an amazing result. The fact that they did that shows a real commitment to all right, let's make everything the same. So then that way, if you're using one system, you can just use it for everything. And it's easy then to transfer your skills from one thing to another. So if you want to use ASP.NET and then go to MAUI, it's one and the same. So you know exactly what you need to do.
Yep. Exactly. Super awesome. So thank you, Luis. I love those 2 posts. Awesome work. He also, I'm telling you, everybody's just overperforming last month. He also put in another blog post around masks with, so you want, when you have, those valid plugin, those validation in text forms, he put in a post about how to do validation rules. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool. And I'm like, damn, people are killing it this month. All right. Next up, our good friends at Sharpnado have launched a collection view 2.0 with drag and drop built into it. I remember Alexi a few months ago was trying to figure this out, and it's just so awesome to see Sharpnado just give us a control that does it. Because honest to God, I usually just recommend Sharpnado to most of our customers. I'm like, are you trying to do something? Have you checked if Sharpnado's done it for you? You just want to use what they're doing because they're the best. They're awesome. Mm-hmm. So we have the collection view. Now they sort of built in the drag and drop, drag and drop with a cool animation with it. You can do grouping of headers and footers. It essentially what the title says is 100% true. It is a collection view 2.0 revamped, super nice, super awesome, super snappy. So definitely go check this out. Next up, we have the push and pop. So, when you're trying to like sort of navigate between two pages and there's like a little bit of a lag sometimes, and you see like a white page before it goes on to the next page, and just the whole popping and pushing of the stack kind of sometimes does that based on how your renderers are working. So in this blog post, they actually sort of explain what is going on and sort of how to go about it and fix it. So very nifty. So in case you're seeing this or you're curious, like you want to get a bit of a deep dive on how navigation stuff works in forms, worth checking out. It was super, super helpful. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try clicking on YouTube again. It's definitely going to spaz. There we go. It's going to spaz. It's like this weird like dubstep animation. I don't even know what's going on. Like, okay, anyway, so this was, I think, Gerald's video. So hi, Gerald. Gerald was put out how to use type converters and, using that with custom controls. So if YouTube decides to load, we can maybe see what he's talking about. But if not, go check out Gerald's YouTube. Again, always posting awesome content. Thank you, Gerald.
Remember, like, subscribe, click the bell. I think that's what you do, right?
Yeah. And it's 10,000, I'm pretty sure, which is wild.
It is wild. Gerald's like killing it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Celebrity.
Exactly. And he's in the chat, so you guys should go give him a shout out.
It's Logan Paul, Gerald.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You know, Gerald is going to do celebrity boxing fights for charity.
Right,
oh
Gerald? My god, that'd be insane. Yeah. Oh my god, do you think they do a Dave versus Gerald fight? I'd see that. I just yell you David from the slot, like from the stands the whole time.
That sounds great.
I know, right? Okay. Bodan is put up a nifty little blog post here. Have you wondered how to do splash screens with gradients, with magic gradients? And wait, I think there was a animation at the bottom here that shows you the final result, which looked really cool. No, okay, wait. But essentially, it's when you have a splash screen, instead of just putting instead of having just a static gradient, he walks you through how to make the animated gradient. So it looks even fancier and even cooler. So if you are looking to add this sort of effect to your app, check it out. It's very cool. And it's only like 4 minutes to read. So it's like super quick, super tiny, but it just makes your app look so gorgeous. I love gradients. Everybody loves gradients, I think. So excellent blog post on that. The next two, again, I'm keep calling these sister blog posts because they're just like connected to each other. So Damien, who does a lot of great DevOps related blog posts, this 2-part series basically talks about how to set up your DevOps pipelines to distribute your applications to the respective stores. So this first one talks about how to set it up for iOS and set it up to App Store Connect. And the cool part is, I don't know if everyone has picked up on this, but Apple just very recently has created this whole App Store Connect API key. So instead, previously how you had to sort of sign in to Fastlane with your like username and password and, do like that whole get a secret key that you attach separately to your Fastlane session, you can just sort of bypass all of that by using an API key. It's fairly new, and it's awesome to see that he's already got like a blog post out on how to get it set up with your Azure DevOps pipeline. So it's super nifty, super awesome. Definitely check it out. It'll make your DevOps pipelines much, much smoother. And why I called it...
Always protect your keys.
And the reason I call them sister posts is he then also put up how to get your Android application set up to Google Play. So Google Play hasn't changed too much of this stuff, but it's still a good thing to know how to set it up. And of course, he talks about how to get this whole thing set up in your Azure DevOps pipeline. So me being the DevOps fangirl that I am, love posts like this, the best. So definitely check these out. Damien he's really smart with DevOps stuff. So you want to go read this, especially if you're trying to get something set up with DevOps. This is your blog post for you. And sister posts, iOS and Android. Yay. All right, let's move into a bit of Maui stuff. So thank you, Sam. This is the best thing. I feel like this is my go-to. And every time he puts out a new Sands of Maui, I go read it myself just to see what's going on.
I can't believe we're on number 31.
31, right? I know. Amazing. So there's a couple of stuff I have in links like coming up, but definitely go check it out. He's highlighted all of the cool stuff that was going on. Oh, look, Maddy, there you are. Again, a good roundup of everything Maui. So in case you aren't already, isn't an RSS feed. Anyway, subscribe to the blogs. Go check it out. Have this in your, sort of notification. Super nifty. All right. So Sync Fusion as usual, always up to date, always pushing out cool new bits. They have a .NET MAUI tab view preview out for everyone to use, which is super exciting. I love how they're just like so on to things. It's like, yep, we got a new thing out. We're going to give out the new controls for you. So super awesome. If you're wanting to use tab views with a .NET MAUI app, go give it a try. Give them some feedback. They'll appreciate it. You know, just anyone doing preview stuff, I love it. And more than happy to try it out and give you some feedback. So SyncFusion on it. Superb. Next up was, I wanted to like highlight 3 things that Javier's been up to. Because again, Javier, killing it. So much of cool content. So he was on Kerry's podcast talking about drawn controls in .NET MAUI, which is his new favorite thing. And so you want to go listen to the blog post. You want to go check out his blog where he talks about the drawn controls. And you want to go maybe check out, it's going to do that again. It's going to do that. Okay, so this was basically Gerald's playlist of all of the XAML Expert Day videos. He's created a playlist of all the videos there. So you can easily go watch a replay of everything in case you missed it. I think we talked about it last month too, but I just want to throw it out there because it's super great. And Javier is awesome. So, yep. And I think, wait, Maddy, remind me, is that his .NET Conf talk as well? Is that drawn controls?
Yep.
Right? Yep. So, he's talking about all the cool stuff, all the good work that's been done. So definitely check it out. Go Javier. Woohoo. All right. It's going to spaz and go to, okay. Why did I bring this one up? There was a reason I pulled this up. I mean, it's like we were just talking about this .NET MAUI podcast episode. Dave, Matt, and Mots are basically just talking about the preview 9 bits. But, like we were just saying, if you love surprises and, feeling happy, check out the preview in my 9 bits and then download the new stuff next week. And, you'll just be the happiest person on earth at that point. So, yay.
Or at least file bugs. You get both, Mm-hmm. Especially when you upgrade, because that seems to be the biggest problem.
Pretty much. And that's, yeah. All right. Oh, my God. Of course. I should stop clicking on YouTube. So this was Motz's video talking about those borders, corners, shadows, stuff that Maddy was excited about that got implemented. So if you want to get a deep dive on that, go check out Motz's video on it. I'm actually going to go over to Motz's blog post. Oh, there we go. Oh. Come on. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Okay. Edge does not like me today at all. But anyways, look at that. Look how pretty it looks. Shadows, rounded corners, and he's got the demo app running. So definitely go check it out. Mm-hmm. But this is the kicker for me because Mott's figured out and posted how you can use the Windows subsystem for Android and don't need to install the Android emulators anymore, which is awesome, which is what I'm going to do today. It's on my list because I have my machine finally set up with Windows 11, and this is what I'm going to spend all day doing, just installing all this cool new stuff. So there's Motz's blog post and his video on it. Javier also wrote about it. So, I might just do Javier's video because, I'm going to spread my love. Everybody's going to go to Motz's stuff. I'm going to go to Javier's post. But yes, definitely check it out. It's super cool. The fact that especially how irritating Android emulators are. And I know Maddy was suffering with Android emulators yesterday. So yeah. So if you're looking to just make your life easy, maybe check this out. So
we're using this internally now. So for like the MAUI stuff that we're doing, like it is so much faster than deploying to an emulator or device. It's just spinning up the Windows subsystem. It is. If you haven't tried it, do it. It is way, way, way better than what we have.
The only limitation is that it doesn't have Google Play APIs because it's through the Amazon store. So if you need to use maps or something, it's not going to work. But I think
for the sake of development, though, it's like just for that experience, like when you need to do something like that, then you can get a device. But it's like just for the inner loop, it is faster than deploying to the emulator. Like it's 100%. Like it's almost as good as WinUI in my view for that. So
100%. Plus one to what Tim just said. But like if you're doing stuff like maps and you need the Google Play services, at that point you actually need to put it on a device. You really don't want to test on an emulator. So exactly for everything else, the inner loop is going to be so smooth. So yep. All right, that's me. Our community blew it. I just want to say we love you guys. Hacktober and all these amazing posts. And I'm pretty sure I missed a couple of blogs, so I apologize for that. But man, you guys are killing it.
Wow. Wow. It's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
I just think, MAUI's not even coming out until next year. There's going to be even more stuff coming out for that soon.
Exactly. Cannot wait.
Wow. That was also great timing. You took us exactly to 1:30, which means we're halfway through, sort of, which means we have plenty of time for Tim's wonderful stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should I share my screen then?
Yeah, go ahead. Share
I'm
the screen. So, okay,
Yeah.
so last month when I wasn't here, I guess Dimitri was on and he showed .NET Hot Reload, which is kind of like reloading C# and all that stuff, or whatever else, .NET could mean, which is brand new. That's coming out with VS 2022 on Monday. So you probably have only tried it if you have tried VS 2022 previews. Tim is going to show us the latest and greatest with XAML Hot Reload, which you have probably used if you are a Xamarin developer because it is the best.
Yeah, certainly. I've heard the feedback when it's not working. So when it's not working, we hear it. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. But we're bringing it to Maui, of course. And and Tim's working on like the new stuff. Like he's got some demo that we'll let him talk about it. But some of the stuff he's going to show you today, Sweeky and I haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. It's going to be a surprise for a lot of people. So I should be sharing it. I don't know if I have to do something. There we go. Awesome. Thank you.
I don't want to put it up there yet.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to start talking about this. There's two parts to this. So one is talking about the stuff that we are currently shipping in the newest previews of Visual Studio 2022. This is the stuff that if you're making a Maui app right now with Preview 9, you should be able to do right now. And then later we'll talk about the stuff that we're planning on prototyping, working on for the general release of Maui coming out next year. So first thing is, I already have everything running because I'm a professional and want to make sure it worked.
Question though, before you start, is it blurry for you, Sweeky?
It's a bit blurry. I was just about to say that, but I was
Can you check
it is? Oh God. Well, I have high DPI. Oh no.
If you set it to 1080, it should be fine.
It's not a 1080, but I can change it. Here, wait. If you give me a little second, I can go fix all this and make it right.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold
on a second. Let's do that. All right. Let's buy time. What do you want to talk about?
All right. Questions. Do we have questions, Maddy?
Yes.
We do have some questions. Actually, that's a good one. All right. Maui will replace Xamarin. Yeah. Maui is basically like Xamarin next. So it's kind of like an evolution of it. There are definitely some things that are new and fun and good. But I don't think like for most Xamarin developers, it's going to be the same. Sweeky's actually worked on our upgrade tool too, which takes the like project file and everything and updates it to the .NET 6 stuff. We got some questions about. Oh, Dave's in the chat. Hi, Dave. He's answering things. Do all Maui apps have to be written in Xamarin? Well, Maui is Xamarin, so like yes, but like XAML, it can be C#. It also can be written in, and like Dave posted in the chat, there's also Maui Blazor, which you can use like HTML and CSS and Razor and Blazor components and all that good stuff. But you still get to access all the native platform stuff too. Check it out on Tuesday at .NETConf and all the talks. We're demoing it. It's going to be fun.
For sure.
Let's talk about my honeymoon. No, you don't want to hear me talk about my honeymoon because you're going to be really jealous and it was amazing. And I'll talk about it for the next 3 hours. So, yeah. All right, Tim, are you ready? You ready to roll?
Yes, I hope so. Let's see here. Let me just do that.
All right, here we go.
Up.
Okay, is this a little better?
It's still blurry, but it's a lot better.
It's a lot better. You can definitely see your stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I can like read the text now. All right.
I apologize then.
Sorry to derail you. Let's try this.
No, it's okay. No, it's my fault. I didn't see. You guys are professionals. You've done this before. You know what you're doing. Me, I'm an engineer. This is like I'm too focused on the code to think about video production. So hopefully we'll try to get through this together. I apologize. Yeah. So what we're going to be talking about now is 2 parts. So first is the stuff that's currently shipping right now in Maui today. And then the stuff that we're planning on shipping by the time GA comes out next year. So first thing is I have a WinUI app that I'm currently running right now. So I have it right here. Hopefully that comes through. And then we also, my live preview doesn't work when you do that. But yeah, so I have live preview here. So that way I can see the app as it's running. And I want to be able to change stuff. So obviously simple stuff, changing text. Obviously that works. I can go remove stuff. The big stuff that we've added for Maui is basically working with the platform team and Maui to enable more hot reload scenarios. So some of the big stuff with forms that we couldn't do previously we're now able to do because they've been working on the platform to make it more hot reloadable. So stuff like this. So if I go through and edit my app XAML, for example, like let's say I'm going to change this to green. Okay, that's really ugly. Let's not do that. Let's change this to, I don't know, red. There you go, blood red. Who doesn't like that?
Do fuchsia. Do fuchsia.
Oh, fuchsia. I can do fuchsia. Hold on. Let's see.
That's the
that requires spelling, though. Screw it. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so you can see we have that working. But we also have some cool stuff, too, that got added. So, like, we have the fonts here. Let me see if I can change the font here. That should work. Yeah, there we go. So we got Comic Sans running there.
Oh, that's horrible. I love it.
Yeah, and
it's
so now
let's see.
And let's see. I think I can also change some of the images too. Let's see. And then, oh wait, oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Wait. There we go. All right, we got Clippy there,
nice.
And then I got here. I'm back. There we go. There we are. So yeah. The things we can do is like. This is now working way better than it used to because we can do things like change around the views. Like obviously this looks really weird. We can change that, flip it around. Oop, it should be on the bottom there. Oh, okay, well it's underneath the window. But yeah, it's like these are the things that used to work that were not ideal in forms. Like we've been working very closely to try to make sure that we can get these experiences nailed down for Maui. And the team has been very good at responding to us to try to help make this work. And we've got a lot of stuff into the platform. So if you want to check out the Maui Repo, you can see all the work we're doing. It's in the open. But yeah, like this is just the basic stuff. Like this is stuff you can basically do with forms today. It's just now it works with Maui. So yeah, so now we're going to try something a little more daring. So this is going to be blurry because I screwed up the resolution, but you can see that. So this is running right now. Hopefully this comes through. This is the Maui repo itself. So this is Maui source if you check out main. And we're working on the newer features that are going to be hopefully like blowing minds by the time we ship it out next year. So right now I have the normal app. You can see it in the emulator window right here. So it's just what this is. But you can see that if I go here, I can change and select the element. And you can see that I have the element selected. So this is an adorner view. So when you select the element, I can go zoom in and you can see that hopefully it's going to be blurry, but you can see that I have the lines. I have each of the adorners around it. So you can select each element and now you can see which one is actually in view. And what's really cool about this too is that like, I'm going to zoom out here and you should be able to see like, so this has like a, multi-pane stuff. You can see at the bottom, there's a label, but you don't see it on the screen. So what happens if you click that label? Well, if I click the label, it just zooms to the bottom. So now I just scroll down and I can zoom it there.
That is so cool.
I can also click on...
How many times I cannot figure out how big like the box behind a label or something is.
Yeah.
And this would save my life.
Yeah, so here it's like, yeah, you can see that this view takes up this amount of space. And we can also do stuff like see if you... I'll show.
I was about to ask. Yeah, can you mess around with the properties? Okay, I won't kill your flow. I won't kill your.
Yes,
flow.
no, you're on the right track. So yeah, basically though, we have the ability to go change all this stuff. So one of the other cool things too is that if I zoom in here, you can hopefully see, like here we go. So you see .NET here. So yeah, we also have Live Property Explorer enabled now. So this lets you view all of the properties that make up that view. So if you want to see how like the width and the height. You want to see like, the individual things that make up whatever that element is. You should be able to see that now. So right here, you can see I have the text here. And let's see if I change that to test. And yeah, you can see that I dynamically changed the text. This isn't going through XAML. This isn't touching the XAML itself. It's still the same. But I could change the individual property and also the adorner view updates. So it takes that into account. And I can change it back to dot.
Oh my God.
And then yeah, so you can see that it's working fine. And you can also see like the font size. I can change that. So let's see there. Oh no, that exploded.
I just want to clap. I just want to stand and clap right now. That's all I
Ignore what I just tried to do. But otherwise, you can see that most of it does work correctly. So don't worry about the stuff that doesn't work yet. We're working on that. Anyway, this is what happens when you go off script. But yeah, the basic idea, though, is you can see all the individual values, be able to tweak them. So these are the computed values in the corner. If that comes through, you can see like where the element is located. You can see the width and the height. And in the future, we're working on being able to do chained values. So if you have a style that's applied to a label, let's say, you want to know where the styles are that make up those values. Like right now, we don't have a way to get that because Maui does not expose that information, but we're working with them to enable that. So then that way you can be able to see like, okay, this label is made up of how many different styles with different values, and then be able to tweak them accordingly. We're also working on updating this view as well. So some of you may know this, the Live Property Explorer from the WPF UWP stuff, because that's where it's based off of. But we're working right now to revamp this UI and come up with a better one to try to make it more appealing and easier to use. I think Brett is working on coming up. Brett Johnson is working on a updated view for that to make it cross-platform with VS Mac, because right now we don't have any of this for VS Mac. So there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff coming out of this soon. But yeah, this is like sort of like our preview of what we're trying to do here. There's also some other cool things too. So, just also for reference here. So this is also just on the view itself, right? So this is not being drawn on this live preview window. This is in the app. This is in Maui. It's also being drawn with Maui graphics with Skia Sharp. So this is cross-platform. The same drawing controls and everything will work the same on iOS, WinUI, Catalyst. Like it's all the same. So that way, it's not specific to the platform. It's all in the same shared code. And also something cool too, just to see, it's like, what happens if you scroll on this view? Let me check a frame here. That'd make it a little easier to see maybe. Or not, that's fine. But yeah, you should be able to see though, if I might have to actually restart the app. But we have the ability to also draw live. So hopefully when this app reloads, you'll be able to see.
Wait, draw live? Like, are we talking about add a thing, like add a label live, or like?
Oh no, so I mean like, if
that's just Hot Reload, right? Like
so that will work fine too. But it's also that like if you move the scroll view, like the door will redraw.
Okay, that is super cool.
Yes. So let's see if I can get this app reloading again here. See, this is why I want WSA, because it'd be so much faster than trying to load this. There we go. Also, I love the fact that it shows unexpected problem. Like this is what happens when you're running stuff in main, is that you just start getting these logs that just start popping up. These are the things we have to fix. Anyway, just little fun stuff. But yeah, let's go back here and see. Okay, there you go. You can see that. Let's go back to the app so I can scroll, and you can see that if I scroll, it also updates on there.
Wow.
Updates accordingly. Yep, 60 frames a second. So then that way, we also have the ability now to do taps as well. So the other thing is, I don't think it's going to work right now because of the DPI situation, but we do have the ability to also do live selection of the adorners. So like, for example, so if I hover over it, it should change the view. Right now, it's not going to work probably because of the DPI, because I had to change all of my display stuff. But yeah, we have the ability to also view all of the elements from this window and then also be able to tap. So if you're back in the Maui app, you can actually go tap on any of these individual elements and then be able to see what they are back over here. So yeah, there's basically a lot of really cool underlying work we're doing with the Maui team to be able to deliver really great UI tools at all levels. And also the cool thing too, for people who are like, I don't care about XAML, like whatever, like none of this is XAML specific. So all of this stuff with the live visual tree, all the stuff with Live Property Explorer, if you're making a common app or you're just using C#, this should apply to you as well. You should be able to get these features for free because they're just baked into the platform, and our tooling will just run against whatever it's based on. So you don't need to use XAML at all. You just get this. So that should be cool for anybody who's like, I don't use XAML. Like, you get this as well.
That's so cool. So the Live Property Explorer, that doesn't update my source, right? It just updates it for this instance while it's running?
Yes, it just updates it for this instance while it's running. Yeah, so when you edit with XAML, like obviously you don't have to save, but you're editing the XAML. With Live Property Explorer, you can tweak values, and they just update that specific instance. So if you want to edit, let's say, like if I go back over here, let's see if I can zoom in. I should be able to go to do, yeah, it's going to be really blurry. I apologize for that. But if I go like here to this Blazor view, you can see Blazor, and I can change that to test, and then it should update there. Yeah, and so then it just updates that view from the object itself, but it's not touching XAML, not touching anything else. And then once you close and reopen, it will obviously go back.
So cool. I'm so excited. Well, I'm sure everyone's like, when do I get this? From what I understand, this is not even committed to like our internal build yet, right?
Some of it is, some of it isn't. Yeah. So right now we're working on the PR to get the Adorner stuff working with Maui in. So all of these drawing controls and stuff, these are going to go into Maui because we need it there in order to work correctly. So there's multiple stuff that needs to happen, but we need to implement it on iOS and also on the others. Like we're working on it. But this is the idea is that we're trying to get everything to work cross-platform, baked in, and on everything when we ship. So the stuff I'm showing here should also apply to VS Mac whenever it ships. Like we're trying to get everything out at the same time.
Wow.
Cross fingers, we can do it. But yeah, it's the this stuff. Some of the stuff is all just on my machine. Like this is literally not committed yet, but we're working on getting it through. It's going to take some time.
That's awesome. There is a question in the chat, which also I was thinking about. Will this also work with Blazor Maui?
So yes and no. So yes, in that if you're using Blazor Maui, like the adorners and stuff will draw with stuff that is not inside of the Maui web view. But having said that, I know we are working right now with that team on coming up with ways to have better integration between our Hot Reload solutions. So that way you can use both this stuff I'm showing with the Maui or with the Blazor stuff as well. In terms of live visual tree and that stuff, I don't know, but like we're trying to come up with better ways to make that integration happen. So stuff like CSS Hot Reload, I know is also a thing we're trying to do, like stuff like that. We're working on it.
Awesome. What is that a question from David? Is David asking a question?
Yeah.
I want to put the
you can just ask me, on Teams later.
I know.
But I'll read Dave's question on the screen and I'll remove it so we can look at you again, Sweeky. The computed properties, which I imagine is when he's saying that, it's the things that show up in the Live Property Explorer. Is there a way to see where that value is coming from, whether it's from a resource dictionary or a page?
Yes. So this is what I'm talking about when we talk about change properties. Right now, we don't have that. So with some stuff, it will show. So if I go to some properties, they may show that if it's in the, I think, normal page, it will show that it's from this resource dictionary or this property. But if it's like from the app one or from one that's in a different page, it doesn't work. And that's because Maui itself does not support it. There's no way in the platform to get that information. So we have a task file for working on that. And I think we're going to help them deliver that before GA. And that's really essential for Live Property Explorer to work right. Because as David would point out, it's like you need to know those values more than anything. So that way you know, like, okay, this is coming from this style. And therefore, if I change this, it should update on everything. So yes, that's known and we're working on that. But it's not
when I think about this stuff, I always think of like web tools and Chrome, like the inspect stuff. And I remember when I first started doing web dev like forever ago, it didn't like have that feature, or maybe it didn't. I just didn't know where to find it. And I would always like try to change it somewhere and it wouldn't work. And I'd be so frustrated. And then, when it did finally, or when I, however, learned to figure out where it was actually being set, it made my life so much easier.
Yeah, like this is actually the cool thing when we were showing this to the Maui team, like what we wanted to do. It's like once you see it and actually can act on it, you're like, wow, this is like really useful. And and also the other thing I've been doing with them is working on just making sure our Hot Reload stuff works in their repo for that reason. So then that way they can easily see and be able to debug their own stuff while working on Maui. So yeah, it's like once you have those tools available, you really don't want to lose them because it just makes it so much easier to see like, okay, here's the values I need to change. Here's what I need to do. And yeah, it's an immensely powerful tool.
That's so cool. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm just like, wow. Oh man.
But yeah, again, like these are stuff that is mostly not committed yet. We're working on it. You'll see more of it in the future, hopefully with iOS, hopefully with WinUI. Like WinUI already has some of these features because it has it baked into their platform or for Hot Reload, which is what our team also works on. And so there's going to be synergy with that. There's lots of questions, we'll be working on it. And again, if like there's any features I'm showing today where you're like, wow, I really want that, file feedback, ask questions. Like we need that in order to keep developing these features. So like if there's stuff where you're like heat maps and things like that, it's like, or better integration with live preview, like, please by all means, like file that, because that gives us direction of where we should be focused.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, so many questions coming in, and I'm starting to like respond to them, and then I'm realizing. So, all right, one Sweeky, I have an unrelated question that you can answer. Is Xamarin Forms still getting a defined upgrade path to .NET MAUI?
Oh, that does sound. So yes, it is still getting a defined upgrade path, and David just was talking to me about it a few days ago, a week ago, I forget. But anyways, yes, we're still working on Upgrade Assistant. We're going to make that the tool you can use to make your upgrade path super simple, super straightforward. We're going to make sure it works really well and really smooth. We're going to make sure it also works with all different types of Xamarin apps. So currently we're focusing just on Xamarin Forms, but I know I did, I didn't technically ask Jared how his experience was, but I know I will eventually bug Jared to let me know if library migrations are working with Upgrade Assistant or not. And if it's not working too well, we'll get that fixed, of course. So yes, please keep a lookout. We'll have some documentations coming in. We'll have more detailed samples coming in. We have a game plan, and it's coming. So do not worry, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah. We got this. We're the best.
We got you.
Let's see. Tim, I think you answered most of the questions about if things were coming to Mac, if things were coming to iOS. I imagine this will work with Hot Restart eventually, right?
I mean, it should right now yes, it will work with that as well. Like, so the idea is, as long as you see the live visual tree, live property explorer and stuff, if Hot Reload is working, this stuff should work. It's all related to that. So it shouldn't matter if you're using Hot Restart or whatever. It should, as long as you see the tooling, even though I just realized I'm trying to gesture to a screen that I turned off. Should have thought of that before I did that. It should be, it should just work. And if it doesn't, file a bug, please, and let me know. Be nice about it, though.
Sweet. There's a question. Previewer live. Oh, I imagine it's from Luis. So will live preview support iOS without a Mac? Which I guess would be Hot Restart.
Oh, yeah. So we do have it on our docket for trying to think about, I don't want to speak about features before we're fully finalized. That's something for a PM to discuss rather than an engineer. But I will say that we are thinking about devices and how to do webcasting well, to do stuff like be able to get live preview working with devices or things that are not on your machine, not an emulator on your machine. So I would say stay tuned for it. It's on our docket to try to figure that out and try to come up with the best way forward. And also same for Mac. We want to add live preview to VS Mac as well. That is on the docket. We're working on prototyping that, trying to figure out what's the right approach. It's going to take time, but we should hopefully have something either near launch or after for that. Again, I can't speak to dates. I don't know those specifics.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Is VS Mac support, or is VS Mac release date the same as VS 2020? Nope. It's in preview. I think you're getting a new preview next week. Don't quote me on that, but that's that.
Again, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming for VS Mac that, even for the MAUI tooling as well, we're updating that for more stuff. So they just need a lot more time. Cool thing about VS Mac though, while we're on it though, using Core CLR, getting off of Mono and using .NET 6 to run on that, very cool feature. So it's that is going to be very nice when that ships. So
I think
using it internally, it's very cool.
I think Jared had a link up somewhere, I think, but you can get a preview of VS for Mac and go check it out and file bugs and let us know how you feel. Let me see how you feel. If you hit any issues, not let us know how you feel. I mean, I'm sure you feel great, but
The other thing I could think of also mentioning while I'm on it is also if you see issues with Hot Reload as well, while you're doing stuff, if you're now inspired to check it out for yourself, I would highly encourage you, again, file VS feedback. A lot of the time, when we do stuff, we're also filing bugs with the MAUI team, which is on GitHub. So we try to keep those in sync. So it's also make sure, if there's anything I want to make sure to get through is file feedback. We definitely want that. So and we'll triage it appropriately.
Yeah, we will. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Before more questions come in, I'm going to take this nice little pause here to say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Sweeky, as always. We will see you the first Thursday of December, which I don't know what date it is. I think it's the date I have to go to Social Security to get my last name changed. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, we will see you then. We're planning on doing tentatively, Dave and I have only talked about this for like 2 minutes, but planning on tentatively doing like a Q&A, pre-submit, kind of like what we did last holiday season, which was just hey, this is what's going on with Maui, kind of general recap. So we're planning on doing that. There will be more details, and let us know what else you want to hear or see in the future community stand-ups. Keep it up with the blogs and everything. You all are amazing.
Yes.
And we will see you next time. So thanks for joining, everybody, and we'll see you in a month.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.